what area of town certain people should live in. And what they do is they take a pen, a red pen, and they'll draw a line around a certain area. And they'll say, all the people that we don't like live inside the red line. That's exactly what happened to us. All the black people in Milwaukee lived inside of this red line. Of course, the houses were terrible. You couldn't really get a decent house there, really. You couldn't get a loan to buy a house there. There were mostly apartments, and the apartments were in terrible repair. And every time you tried to get them fixed, they wouldn't get them fixed. And I mean, the first apartment that we lived in was, my mother spent all day on her knees scraping the dirt off the floor of this apartment. I mean, there was so much dirt on this floor. It was just ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. My mother spent weeks trying to get this place clean. They just never cleaned it up. And it was so funny because it's hard to put this into words. It's like when you're a child, you shouldn't have the idea in your head that you're poor. You shouldn't. You can feel poor, but you shouldn't feel the burden or the depression of that. And that's what I started to feel. I started to actually feel like I wasn't really worthy. I mean, me as a kid, I'm 5 years old. How can a 5-year-old not feel worthy? That's what I felt. I started feeling like I wasn't worthy. And that I didn't look good, and I was ugly, and people didn't want to be around me, and I was this ugly thing, you know? And when you're poor too at the same time, and you feel like, one day my mother said, you know, before I could get to that one, there was another place we moved into. There was an apartment that we moved into at one point. We were there for a while and moved into another place, and there was rats in this apartment. Rats, you know, like not mice, field mice. Like, I'm talking about rats, like serious, like rats. You know, like water. Yeah. The kind that scare you, not the kind that you go, oh, that's cute, whatever. No, the kind that scare you. As a child, I remember watching this huge rat crawl in the back of my brother's back. It scared the crap out of me. Seriously, to this day, I can't stand rats. I can't even stand the sight of those, the tails. Ugh. Can't stand those things. And I felt depression. I felt real depression. I mean, I'm a child. I'm feeling depression. It's amazing what depression can do to a child. It's amazing what a thing can do to your head. That stuff messes with your head. It really does. It makes you feel like, oh, okay, I'll just go kill myself. Oh, okay, I'll just go sell some drugs. You know, I mean, you can see why kids want to do that. When you're in that position, you can see why. Because you don't see anything else. You don't see any other. It takes an act of God to just go poof, you know, come in your life to change your whole outlook. It really does. Because you're just going in one direction and you're just going like that, you know. And we're living in this place, and that's how it felt. That's how it felt, like every day. I mean, even as kids, we went outside, we would play and stuff. We would go back home at night and have to feel ourselves off from the bloody rats around everywhere, you know. One afternoon, my mother said, let's go to church. I said, okay, we'll go to church. So we decided to go to church. And when we went to church, you have to understand this. This is Milwaukee, 1970, you know, which was kind of very much like it is today, actually. But we decided to go to church. And we went to this one part of town. And I noticed something in this part of town. When I went to this part of town, the houses were poorer than ours. They were worse than ours. I thought our house was bad. These people were really bad. Really, really bad. And we took the bus to get down there. And as we got off at the bus stop, I could hear this music kind of going. Like about a block away. I could hear this music coming, just going. I thought, where's that music coming from? It's like, you know, it's 7 or 8 o'clock at night. It was just music. So as we got closer, it was the church. I say church, I mean church. Like I don't mean like Danish nice church with nice people like that. I'm talking about, it used to be a meat department, like a meat shop. You know, in fact, it said Acme Meats or something like that. You know, something like that. And they kind of painted over the Acme Meats, right? And put Church of God, you know, in big pink brush letters. You know, it was like the people's paint job, right? Church of God, you know. And we went in there, and there were these people having church. And when we got in there, as I walked to the front of this church and opened the door, it was like, I don't know, you guys have seen these movies, I'm sure, before, where the light comes down, poof, you know, the power of God, that kind of thing. That's how I felt. I felt like as this door opened, the light, poof, you know, and I'm this kid, you know, I'm standing there, you know, and I'm looking, I'm like, whoa. First off, I realized there's all these people who were happy. They were happier than me. And they were poorer than me. Much poorer. I can tell. I know poor people. I've had experience at this point. So I knew what that looked like. But they were singing these songs. And there's one song I want to sing to you what they were singing. The song was called Jesus on the Main Line. That's the name of the song. So we're going to sing this song for y'all right now. All right? Y'all ready? Are you ready, though? Yes. Are you ready?